Hiya! Today you are getting 2 for 1. So today you are going to be getting a recipe for glue, and you're also going to get decoupage. So I am running out of glue, PVA glue. This is not a huge tragedy given what's going on in the world at the moment, but it certainly makes me twitch because I use PVA for just about everything, otherwise called school glue. So we've always got it in the house. It's handy for loads of different things. For the paper pulp I was talking about, just for gluing stuff together, it's amazing. So I was starting to twitch because I was running out. And I decided I was going to try loads of different recipes to try and make my own glue. And I looked online, cannot take credit for any of this, looked online and thought I would try some of them. So I tried one that was just flour and water. That was fine, but it doesn't hold stuff together for a long amount of time. It does start to, and if it gets damp, it really gets mucky. Once it's dried, if you pour water on it afterwards, it just turns really ugh. I'm sure there's a more technical term. There was other recipes out there, but some required things like gum arabic, some required gelatin, which I've only got a little bit left in the house. Don't want to use it if I don't have to. One of them required cornstarch syrup. I just don't have corn syrup in the house, and these are things which I have in the house, and I think most people probably do. So, and I apologise if you don't. I've made promises I can't keep, but as far as I'm aware, most people have these ingredients in the house, and it has made the most amazing glue, which actually sticks stuff, and sticks stuff like PVA would stick stuff. So this is a triangle of a special. It's like a plasticized paper, so it's been covered in a kind of varnishy plastic. It's copper coloured, and normally it would require PVA glue because stick glue wouldn't work. Every time I've tried it with stick glue, it just peels off straight away as soon as the glue dries, whereas PVA will work, but you have to put the PVA underneath, stick it on, and then coat it with PVA as well. I've just done this with just underneath, and it's stuck fast. It is amazing. This is my new favourite friend. I may not go back to PVA, and that is a huge thing for me to say. It's a revelation. So what are you going to need? You're going to need a fairly large pan, purely and simply that you're going to have to whisk this up, and it goes everywhere otherwise. So fairly large pan, a third of a cup of sugar, which is about 65 grams, a teaspoon of vinegar. Don't panic, you don't need to write this down now. I'm actually in the credits at the end going to put the ingredients you need and how to do it, so you can pause it on the credits. So yes, you need 65 grams, which is a third of a cup of sugar. You need a teaspoon of vinegar. I used white vinegar because it smells a little bit less, and it also gives me a slightly lighter coloured glue because I don't necessarily want a brown glue to work with. 130 grams or 1 cup of plain flour. Now, I know some places flour is not available, but I think slowly the supermarket shelves are all starting to fill up and there's flour coming back on the shelves, so hopefully you can get hold of some. And 1.5 cups of water. So sieve your flour into your pan, just because you don't want lumpy glue. So sieve your flour into your pan with your sugar and gently add your water, whisking it the whole time to try and stop the lumps. Once you've done that, you need to put it on the heat on a low heat. Okay, keyword here being low. I got a little bit carried away, and I am currently soaking the pan the first lot went in. It's glue at the end of the day, and I've also burnt it to the bottom of the pan. My husband will tell you that he knows dinner is ready when the alarm goes off, the smoke detector. So I'm not great in the kitchen, but if you heat it up slowly, it's brilliant. So when it gets that really, really kind of thick paste, almost like a really thick wallpaper paste stage, then you're going to whisk in your vinegar. Now your vinegar is your preservative, so it's going to stop it from turning green overnight, because at the end of the day it's food product, so it will if you're not careful. And as I say, it has worked amazingly, and it's quite a nice texture, and it doesn't smell too bad. I mean, I wouldn't sit sniffing it, and if you wanted to, I'm pretty sure you could probably put some essential oils in there if you really feel that strongly about it. But it's quite a nice consistency. It's nice and thick. I've just popped it in a jar. I'm not going to tip it too much, I don't want it all over my computer. But yeah, and then once it's cooled down, it is ready to use. I've kept it in an airtight container just cause that's what I have. You could put it in a click lock top box thing like Tupperware. Other brands are available. If you've got any spare glue, tubs, like you've used all your glue, you could always pour it into there. It makes it easier to kind of get it out as well, doesn't it? So I thought I would use my glue to do a bit of decoupage, which is just a posh word for collage really. We're just sticking bits of paper on something. So I had a horrible tray which I'd used for spray painting on. I've put a picture of it at the very beginning of the video. That's what the first kind of 3 or 4 seconds are, is this picture, so you know what we're working on. Can't figure out how to stick it out in the middle. I'm not very technologically minded. So I have painted around the outside with some just normal household paint that I had. I had this colour. And I then chose some bits of papers that I had in the house. So I had an old map, so I've stuck that on there. I did a bit of printing, some lino printing on there. I say I had some of this copper stuff, which is quite nice. And then I had, can you tell this bit was torn in the corner? It didn't quite fill that space. So I've just put this in here. And you could actually fill it with pictures if you wanted to, of flowers out of magazines, some newspaper print. Pictures that the kids have done would look absolutely amazing, so they could have that on there. Pictures that you've printed off on the computer. It's entirely up to you. I haven't tried this with textiles, but you may want to give it a go. So all I've done is put a layer on the bottom, stuck all my pictures on, and then a layer over the top. You can see it's slightly shiny in places where it was still drying out, and it's slightly wrinkled, but as it dries it should shrink back down again, and it'll actually fit that space quite nicely. So I have ended up with a beautiful, I think, tray. I will probably varnish or wax over the top of it just to keep it easier to keep clean, so that when we're eating food off it and stuff, or carrying food on it, it doesn't get too dirty. So, and it's also wiped clean then. And that's it. So DIY, amazing DIY glue. This is just, yeah, made my day. And decoupage. So you can do this on anything. You can do it on plant pots, you can do it on plastic trays, you can do it on just about anything that your glue will stick to be honest with you. And it can just be a really nice fun activity. And if you've got any old bits of furniture as well, it can be quite nice to do it on that. You can go all out. So, and we will see you tomorrow. Enjoy!